Socialcam, I have such a story to tell you guys. It is 1:12, 1:10, something like that in the morning. But I was out all day, and as I said in my previous video, I was, put in a position, in a place where was out of my control, like kind of broke the fast because it was, out of my control. But, and you can always find something positive within the negative. You can always find something good within the bad. So even though the fast was kind of broken because it was out of my control, something powerful, magnificent happened today. I went to the doctor today, and I ran into a friend of mine from school, and she had a grandbaby, and she started telling me about another person we went to school with, another friend who has colon cancer, and she was telling me that she was really sick, and it was to the point where the doctors told her that there was nothing else that they can do for her. She said that she was going to visit the friend to surprise her, and I was like, okay, whatever, like that. And we exchanged numbers because I stole the baby and wanted to babysit the baby. So we exchanged numbers, and we went our separate ways. So it was so heavy up on my heart. This friend who has cancer, she was so heavy, like, on my mind. Just, I couldn't stop thinking about her, and something in me told me that I need to go see her. Like, I could not let this opportunity pass for me going to see her. I need to physically see her face to face. So I started calling my other friend's phone, and the phone wouldn't ring, and it said that this person has not set up the voicemail and told me goodbye. So it hung up on me numerous of times every time I called, and I was just like, dang, I really need to get to her. She need to answer her phone. She need to answer her phone. So after my doctor's appointment, I go into the waiting area to wait for my cab, and I thought that she would be gone by the time I would get out of my doctor's appointment. But surprisingly, a few minutes later, she came out the door. So I asked her what time she was going to see our friend, and she said about 7 o'clock. And I said, okay, can you take me to go see her with you? She said she agreed. So she was going to work, and she was taking the baby with her, and I wanted to babysit the baby. So I asked her, could I babysit the baby? And she said, yeah, let me go back to my house and, get some things or whatever like that. We went back to the house, and we sat for a little while, and then somehow I ended up going to the salon with her. So I was there with the baby and her, and come to find out, the baby has epilepsy. She has seizures. So the baby had the seizure, and I didn't know what was going on, but her grandma told me what was going on, and it was so sad. All I can do was pray for her. So at that point, every time the baby would have a seizure, I would hold the baby, and I would rock the baby, and I would just pray for the baby. I would pray for the baby's healing. I would pray that the Lord would ease the seizures. I would just pray for the baby, and I would rock the baby until the baby got calm. And she had about 4 seizures, 3 to 4 seizures, and out of the times that she had them, I helped the baby every time except one time, and I just walked back and forth and prayed to God, and prayed until the seizure had passed. So that was a blessing to me that I was able to do that, and I do believe that God, it was meant for me to do that. So after a long day at the salon I spent with her, we ended up going to the friend's house, and the Lord put it up on my heart and said, you need to pray for her. You know, he had been told me that I needed to pray for her, and it was something that I couldn't just pass up. It wasn't something that I could just reject. The Spirit was dealing with me heavily on praying for her, because I do intercessory prayer where I intercede and pray for other people. And you know, the Spirit told me that I needed to pray for her, and I needed to do it in a physical being. I needed to be face to face and lay hands on her and pray for her. So once we sat down and we chatted for a little while, I began to talk to her, and I began to tell her what was going on and how God had us meet each other. I told her about the fast, and just how interesting, and you know, who knew that we would cross paths? You know, who knew I would be ended up in her home praying for her, seeing her in the state that she was. She was so skinny, like you can literally see her bones protruding from her skin. So it wasn't a pleasant sight to see. But you know, after chatting with her for a while, I asked for privacy for me and her to be alone, and I talked to her, and then I began to lay hands on her, and I began to, you know, just touch each and every part of her body, and I just began to cry out to the Lord and pray for her, and pray for her healing, and pray for peace, and just pray. And it felt so good to be able to pray for this baby and to pray for this lady. God had a job for me to do. In the Bible, I read that God knows everything that you're going to do. He knows every thought that you're going to have. He knows everything that you're going to say, even before you say it, do it, think it. Even, you know, before you know what's going to happen. God knows. God knew that today was going to be the day that I would break this fast, that it was going to be out of my control. But he also knew that this would be a day that I would use my gift to pray for a baby who's having seizures, to pray for a woman who's suffering from colon cancer. If I was disobedient, there would have been some consequences I would have to face, and it wouldn't have been good. You know, it wouldn't have sat right with me that I disobeyed God. So I'm just happy and rejoiceful, and it brings me joy and peace that I was able to be obedient, and I was able to go and pray for these people. And it just makes me humble, and it makes me want to seek God for. It makes me hungry. It makes me thirsty. It makes me want to use the gifts that God has given me. I have a purpose in this life. I have a job that needs to be done, and he will not allow me to leave this earth until I do exactly what he has for me to do. So my message today is, no matter what negativity is going on in your life, find the positive things, find the good things. There's a purpose in each and everything that you do. God has a plan for you. Your life may be hell. You know, you might think you have it worse than anybody else. You might think that everything is going wrong in your life. You're depressed, you isolated, you abandon yourself. You know, you having bad thoughts and everything like that. Everything could be going wrong. But look at the good things. Look at the great things that God has given you. Look at it that it's only a test. Look at it, I'm only going through this struggle so I can become stronger. Look at it as I'm going through this struggle so I can have a testimony for somebody else, to let them know that they can make it. For them to see that I was in this position and I made it, and they can make it too. So that was just my day, and I'm just so humbled, and I'm so grateful, and like, I have a sense of sadness, but I know that my prayers has made a difference. I know that God has given me gifts, and that those prayers that I prayed is going to definitely make a difference in those two people's lives. So I love you guys, and I just really wanted to share this story. I knew it was long, but I hope, you know, someone takes the time out to really look at this and pay attention to this and hear how, you know, something bad turned into something good. I'm going to keep sticking with the fast, and I really have some praying to do. I have some father and daughter time to do with God, and you know, it's time to get right. So I love you guys, and I will update you later. Bye. Good night.